And Mrs. Claus.
Hello, hello. How is everybody doing tonight?
Oh,
Hey, everybody.
Good.
Dr. Casey, yeah, you are Mrs. Claus. Everybody looks very festive and beautiful tonight.
Yes, I am. I'm enjoying my first day off of the job.
I bet.
today was my last day for 2 weeks.
Ooh, yes.
Oh,
Congratulations.
Enjoy that, Tawana.
Congratulations, everybody. All right, everybody. Good evening to all. We've stepped up our game just a little bit over the past week. Y'all know last week we live streamed to YouTube, our very first time live streaming there. And we are, live streaming again.
Ooh, 2 times.
Yeah, I just gotta find it. No, Mickey's taking a minute to get over there.
Let's say hi to everybody.
Oh, it's not showing up for me. Maybe it's not working.
You're streaming on Facebook right now.
I'm sorry, say that again.
That you're streaming on Facebook right now.
Okay, yeah, it's supposed to be streaming on YouTube too, but I am not seeing it here on our channel. Well, we're not going to let that stop the show here. I'll just have to upload it later. I was like all excited, like, hey guys, we're going to be live streaming twice or for a second week on YouTube, but it doesn't look like it took today.
That's a shame because the one guy was so excited last week that he caught us live.
I know, I was excited too. So, oh, it's still saying it's sending data. This darn YouTube here.
You got to start it a little earlier, probably. You got to jump on and get it rolling before we start.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I just was a couple of minutes later than I wanted to be. So, well, anyway, we're just gonna keep it moving here. Keep it moving. So, hello everybody. It is 7:33, so yeah, so we're ready to start. So, welcome. It is Wednesday, and we all know Wednesday is Blockchain Day. So welcome to Blockchain Chat. And here at Black Blockchain Consultants, we are all about the business of blockchain, exposing people to the industry. We talk about the different types of jobs that are available, the different types of businesses that we think are going to be forthcoming, and just expose people to what's available within the blockchain industry. My hope is that you get your share of the $3.1 trillion industry that is forthcoming. I'm Cherie, for all of you who are new, welcome. And I have actually all of my co-founders and officers here tonight as well. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Our topic of the day are the blockchain trends for 2021. I found this really great article. We'll go through them. And we'll take it from there. I think knowing us, we'll probably get caught by number 3. So I am going to put the link to the article in the chat as well, just, so you all can have it. But there are some really great items that's within that list, and a lot of stuff we've been talking about, but, we always want to refresh the conversation. So with that, Tawana, you want to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tawana Rivers. I am the Chief Operating Officer here at Blockchain Consortium International and the Black Blockchain Consultants. So thank you. Happy to be here this evening. Happy holidays to everyone. Hopefully everyone who celebrates the holidays, you're getting in the spirit and ready to creatively spend some time with your family and your loved ones.
And Eric?
Yes, Eric Spence. I am the president of Blockchain Consortium International, Inner Circle member here. at Black Blockchain Consultants. Loving this, always love to have these discussions. And just I want to echo what Tawana says too. Happy holidays to everybody. I hope you're enjoying this time with your family. Everyone gets some rest and some time off during this time. But looking forward to this tonight.
Keisha?
Hello there, all. Dr. Keisha Waddell here, Chief Instructional Officer of, no, that's 10K, isn't it? Black Blockchain Consultants, actually. I am the, Executive Director of the Center for Blockchain Studies and a Inner Circle member. I tell you, I need a break. So I'm really putting it all in.
You gotta remember what hat you have on.
myself into the.
Yeah, literally, you have to remember what hat you have on.
Yes.
God, Lord.
Well, like we said, you look very festive. And Talisha.
Good evening, everyone. I am Talisha Shine. I am the Vice President of BCI and also an Inner Circle member here. I am considered the tech person on the team. I answer that technical questions and perspectives. Even though it's business, I always say you got to have business before you have the tech. But this is a great topic this evening, kind of giving us some purview of what we're going to see, because we're going to see a whole lot happen in Q1. So I think this is the perfect topic to end our blockchain for the topic chat for the year and to kind of move into the new year, because you're going to see the manifestation of some of this like as soon as that clock strikes.
Absolutely. So Talisha did say that we will not have blockchain chat next week. I know you'll miss us, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you're going to miss us, and we will miss you as well. However, we all need a break. So we, collectively decided to cancel blockchain chat next week, give you a break, give you time with your families, etc. So definitely wanted to make sure that we let you know that. However, you're not free from us completely next week. If you are a member and you want to come to the mastermind session, that is still happening Monday at 7:30. So that is a meeting and not a webinar. And what that means is we get to see your lovely face. You get to talk with us, tell us, for example, if you are thinking about a major, looking for a niche, that's a great time for you to come and talk with us about that, and we can brainstorm that. If you have tech questions, we're able to talk about that. If you just want, speak your mind, have an opinion, we talk about that as well. If there's something within BBC that you feel like we could do that could serve you as a member, that's on the table as well. But the mastermind session, the one we did before, was a couple months ago now, was really, really great. So now we want to have those every 4th Monday of the month at 7:30. So starting Monday and going through 2021, this is a chance for you to get unstuck in your business, in your career, understanding technology. We will do the best that we can with regards to talking with you with regards to your blockchain career.
And Sheree, I'll just add for the people who are not Inner Circle members and they're going to miss us next week, they can go to the YouTube channel and maybe check out some episodes they've missed, get that viewership up.
Absolutely, please. And the subscribers up too. We have over 1,000 subscribers, but we need to have 4,000 hours of watch content. We're like halfway there because we haven't been live streaming for the past 3 years. If we had done that, then we probably would have been there. But we're going to step up our game. I'm going to figure out what's happening with the restream. It's probably one little thing I got to click that I just don't know. So we will figure that out.
The mastermind. I think this is also a really, really good time for individuals who just kind of want to level set. Like you really don't know what's going on and why and how. It's a great time to just listen. Even if you say, hey, I'm just here to kind of absorb. It's a different conversation than our blockchain chat.
Yes.
So I definitely welcome anybody who's really just like, I'm really just curious and I don't even know what to do with myself. the mastermind is really that time and that place for you to come, because you'll hear different things and that'll just cause the conversation to kind of happen organically. And it's really helpful for you as well, because then you can kind of focus yourself and say, oh, I want to at least learn this piece. And then you can take it offline somewhere and go somewhere, come back to us, come and flock, or the group, to kind of come and see that. But I think sometimes it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a whole lot of information. We try to aggregate it as enough as possible, but I think the mastermind chunks it down even a little further for you to give you somewhere to go.
Yeah. And then the final thing, a couple of people asked how you can network with other members. The mastermind session is going to be the way that you're going to be able to do that, to get to meet other BBC members. So definitely check it out, Monday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you are not a member, now's the best time to become a member. So that is at blockchainstudies.tech. We have our bundle with the membership, as well as Blockchain 101 class. And then there are other classes at blockchainstudies.tech as well, whether it is smart contracts or security, crypto economics, healthcare. There's a ton of other classes that are on there. And you are welcome to take one, take all. Dr. Keisha has bundles. I don't know if the coupon code is I think it's done now. I think that's done. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I thought we were running it through Christmas.
I was going to say, I thought
Okay.
Christmas code.
Okay, well then tell everybody the coupon code, Dr. Keisha.
Yeah, that one is, let me
It's
remember what it was.
Xmas,
Yeah,
Xmas
or something.
extended, or
you know what? Yeah, let me look it up.
yeah, check that out, and then we'll come back to you.
We'll come back to that.
And
Yeah, let me
then
come back.
when we come back on January 6th, I have a friend of mine, Sherilyn, coming in. She coaches technology salespeople, and she is coming to talk with us about tech sales, how to, and number one, for some of you, it may be the major that you're looking for. Some of you are really great communicators. There's a lot of money in technology sales. There are going to be people that need to do blockchain sales. Number two, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to learn how to do sales for your business, then, especially a tech business, then she'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then just overall, she's just very motivational too. So I have her coming on January 6th. It's kind of like a way to, launch your new year. And I thought that would be a great topic. And I have confirmation from the CTO of blockchain.com. He is coming on January 20th. So he'll be here on January 20th. So if you want to schedule out your calendars for that, you are able to do so. Dr. Keisha, whenever you have that code, if you would just put it in the chat, and then just—
I see it in now. Yeah.
Oh, you put it in there now. Xmas extended with an X. XX. Xmas extended.
Yeah.
So everyone is able to go. And I don't know, Talisha, if you're able to throw that in Facebook for us, please.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Do we have any other announcements? Anything anyone wants to say before we go to the article? Okay, so let's get started. This is an article by a gentleman named Carlo de Major. He's a senior economist. And this is Blockchain Trends in 2021, Expect the Unexpected. So of course, he talks a lot about what happens this year, C19, and then he lists out 15 things. Again, we'll go as long as we can, as far as we can, but he has some very interesting predictions for 2021. And like we said, a lot of these we have seen. So global blockchain market size is expected to grow exponentially next year. I have here highlighted businesses from a multitude of industries showed a growing interest to adopt this technology for enhancing their business processes. That's something that Talisha continuously talks about. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the digital transformation drive in many areas, especially via the use of blockchain and distributed ledger technology. And then he's saying here from 2020 to 2025, we're looking basically at a growth from $3 billion to basically $40 billion. So that's what, 1,000x growth, right? Is my math correct on that?
7%. Yeah. Well, actually from that 3, he says it right there, that Cardi, but yeah, that
Oh, well,
percent. Yeah. But that's the
per year.
overall.
Oh, yeah, but it's compound annual growth. Yeah,
Yes.
67.3% per year. Yes.
But I think
So-
that's significant. That's a significant growth. What we
It's-
just, a prediction that was happened earlier, like if we go back
Mhm.
into, I think it's an earlier chat we did in the year,
Mhm.
we had a different number.
Yes.
And that number is 10x.
Yes.
So that's the point. Like if we go back from something that we said to now, that number has totally changed in a year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the opportunity that is about to happen within blockchain technology is going to be huge. And it's been all hands on deck thing too. People are looking for great talent right now. So that's one of the things, if you have not updated your LinkedIn to say, you know, blockchain enthusiast, that's what I have in my LinkedIn header. People are looking for that, you know. If you've already taken your blockchain 101 course, you got your certification or certificate of completion, I should say, add that on your LinkedIn as well, at blockchain consultants on your LinkedIn as well, because this growth, one of the things, I think he says it later on, is, you know, there are going to be more jobs and more opportunities added to the blockchain industry too. So does anyone else have, Tawana, Dr. Keisha, Eric, before I go to number 2? Or you all will just stop me when you get to your favorite one?
Yeah, I'll stop you on my
Okay. So number 2
Run
is
through
about,
all of them though, just even if a cursory, just run through them and then we can go back to them because they're
okay, all right. Actually, that's a really good idea.
together.
So yes, so I'm just going to go through all 15 of them and just read the headline, and then we'll go back and delve into the ones that you all like. That's actually a better idea. So number 2 is C19 will further accelerate blockchain transition. 3, long-term strategic projects will be put on hold. 4, he's saying here corporations need to accelerate their digital transformation. 5, globally, 30% of projects will make it into production. 6, private or permission blockchains will dominate. Now that'll be very interesting based on our book club discussions that we've had for all of our members.
But that goes right along. 5 and 6 go together, and I'll show you why.
7, China will make the fastest progress. 8, the banking and financial sector further dominates the market. 9, growing DLT offerings by non-traditional financial institutions. 10, DeFi. 11, ZKP, zero knowledge proof. 12, cryptocurrencies may reach new heights. 13, crypto fraud is rising. 14, the number of CBD projects will accelerate. CBD is central bank digital currency. And 15, governments will tighten regulations related to Fintech. So why don't we do this? I don't know, Talisha, if you have a favorite one that you want to go over, and everyone in the chat, if there was one that you saw that you're like, oh, could you really talk about that? Put it in the chat, because that's probably the best way for us to focus on what you think you would want to know more about or talk more about. But Talisha, do you have one?
Yeah, I would say there's 3 actually. 5 and 6 go together very, very well for me, because this is what's going to happen. And there's another one that kind of goes into why things are going to change and why the technology is going to change in one whole year. So even though we're going to have the projects, they're going to have to be upgraded in 1 year. And it's because they're private. They're not taking full advantage, as we talked about, from the business to blockchain, those 5 pillars, which are distribution, decentralization, immutability, encryption, and decentralization. Like all of those things, and tokenization is the part that we have to get to, and permission doesn't have that. That's one of the inherent issues with permission, is that they take only a few of those. And what happens is that progress, they're going to start very small, which is that 30% is going to go from pilot to production. But every year they're going to have to iterate. And this is where agile is going to be really crucial. So anybody who's a project manager, anybody who is really good at business analytics or business analysts, functional spec writers, all of those people, because they're going to be in a project for years to come. Like these projects are going to have to roll continuously to keep up with the technology. So those are the kind of things that no matter where you fit from a technical realm, business is going to always have to play catch up, because the projects are going to be continuously rolling. They're not going to just say, okay, we've done it and now we can stop. It's going to have to constantly follow through. And that's why there are going to be a whole lot of pilot projects that are going to literally come into production, even if it's just for production's sake. They need to get something on the board. So that's what you're going to see. And that's, like I said, Q1, everybody, I'm telling you, if you have blockchain something in your LinkedIn, a recruiter will call you because they're going to ask you that question. They're going to need tons and tons of people because they've earmarked that also for the next year. They know they need to get these projects off and running. And so that's where it's going to be.
So I rarely tell you to drop blockchain chat and go do something. Keep blockchain chat up, but just open up another screen, put LinkedIn in just as a reminder. So that way, when you cut off with blockchain chat, your LinkedIn will be there, and at least change your header. At least change your header to say blockchain project manager, or, you know, blockchain certificate of completion or something like that, because that is how, like Talicia's saying, that's how recruiters found you. That's how that Deloitte guy found me. You know, other people are looking, and they are looking for us. We said that last week. They're looking for us. So they don't even know we're here. And
help
you
them
have an
find
opportunity.
You. I said, help them help you.
Help them
Help them help you.
Help the algorithm find you.
Yes.
This is your Jerry Maguire moment. If you want that one, this is where you get it. Just help me help you, and put that in there. You'd be surprised at what will happen organically for you. You don't have to constantly be on the grind looking for it. They'll come to you.
Absolutely. So Talicia, did you have anything else?
I'll let everybody go, but those were my standouts.
Okay. And we do have here Richard asking about number 15, and I actually wanted to talk about number 15 too. Would you all mind if we went to number 15? Because what I have to
let's give the people what they want.
Okay. And everybody, again, if you have one, if you can't remember the number, then put the topic in there and we will go to it. Number 15 was one that I pulled out for a specific reason. This is about governments tightening regulations regarding to Fintech. Long time being absent, governments around the world are sure to implement a myriad of Fintech regulations over the next few years. We can look at this a bunch of different ways, but the number one glaring opportunity that I see with this is anyone who is a lawyer or a paralegal to keep up with the regulations, just like you have certain CPAs that keep up with the tax code. And every year they come out with, here are the changes to the tax code. There are going to be people that make hundreds of dollars, most potentially per hour, counseling companies on the Fintech regulations, in my opinion.
Yep.
In my opinion. And there could even be, you know, if you're if you, like I said, a lawyer or a paralegal or something like that, and you keep up with the regulations, there are people who have gotten YouTube famous, for example, because every day they talk about the stimulus updates, and they've been doing it for months and months and months, and people log in every day to hear about the stimulus updates. Now, I'm not telling you you have to do it every day, but even a weekly newsletter to individuals saying, here are the latest Fintech regulations that the government is looking at, keeping people abreast. You could even offer an upsell to certain types of information. You could, you know, offer private consulting to companies, et cetera. I believe there are whole businesses that are going to be created. And law firms will probably have certain divisions dedicated to this as well. So that was something that I saw that was a little bit more hidden with this, but I think that this is going to make some, you know, companies hundreds of millions of dollars just keeping up with the regulations that are forthcoming.
I want to add to what you're saying with that one, Cherie, as it relates to number 13, where it says crypto fraud is rising. You know, really going right back to what you're saying about the YouTube channels. I know right now, you know, I'm pairing that with cybersecurity, which we already know is by itself a tremendous field to go into at this point. And you don't even need to go through a full, you know, 4-year college degree scenario for that. You know, just pick up several micro credentials in that and you'll be in good shape. But with regard to the fraud though, and the YouTube channel thing, I was just looking just today at a gentleman who had been hit by, you know, had been hit with fraud basically as related to his own personal crypto. And yeah, that was what he was talking about. And of course, when you're somebody who's not just talking about it, but you have been involved in it, that authenticity really speaks. And he's very much into how to now do things differently. And so he's going deep with it. You know, it's not just a nice to know thing. So, or something to kind of be concerned about and then kind of see it in the news, but he really has made a whole channel about it. And like I said, he can really pair it off to what you can do to actually really get in by pairing cybersecurity with it. But yeah, crypto fraud, that's a huge one right now.
Yeah, that actually was mine. The one I was that touched me the most. You know, we are in the education business, right? That's what BBC does. And as blockchain and crypto becomes more mainstream, more people become victims of it, right? Because they know just enough about it to click on that damn link, right? And then everything's gone. And so education is essential, right? And we are primed to educate people on that topic, because as we invite the newbies in, they're going to be great targets for getting duped. And we've got to protect them from themselves because they don't know any better. I mean, just recently we talked about this in my investment club, the Ledger hack, where Ledger Wallet, they didn't take from what we understood, they didn't get to the crypto, to the wallet, but they got the information. I received myself several texts.
I got messages too.
And so, you know, I'm you know, I don't click on no link. So if you send me a link, you better call first and say, Tawana, the link is good. Because I don't click on links.
She's not clicking, y'all. She's not
clicking ever. But somebody else has clicked, right? And a lot of people have been victims of that. And you know, and it wasn't really asking for anything from what I recall. It didn't even make it seem like it was going to be something that would be intrusive. So I think we really have to focus on that education piece and save people, because we can't educate them on what it is and how they can benefit from it without educating them on how to protect themselves from being victims. Because people wake up in the morning with fraud on their mind, right? We wake up in the morning with other things on our mind, but there are people who wake up saying, how many people can get got today? And we have to save people from that.
Yeah, like my dad always says, a thief's job is to steal. So just that is period. So that's they're on their job. So we gotta mitigate it, make it a little different.
And one thing I would tell everyone, Andreas Antonopoulos, he did a probably like 2.5 hour really in-depth discussion with his panelists yesterday. He did it live, so it's up on his YouTube channel. I would tell everyone to go check that out, because he went through all of the ways, the myriad of ways that you need to secure yourself.
Mm.
You know, and it was things that I'd never even thought about too. And one of those was even like for your Gmail account, if you have your phone number listed as one of the recovery methods, that gives you a certain amount of vulnerability.
Oh,
So you can go and you could remove that out. You wouldn't even think so, but it basically opens you up to SIM swapping, which
I've heard about, yeah.
you know, yeah. So if everyone go check that out, it was really, really in depth.
Can you
And
put that in the chat so we
Yeah, I was
can,
gonna say too.
everybody can get that?
let me get that.
So
And
Tandy
Tandy
is saying,
responded to, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
go-
ledger,
yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
the ledger
I was just
attack
gonna
affected
say,
250,000 people. The attackers got your email address, shipping address, phone number, and your name. I just removed my phone number from my email address. So that's what Tangi is saying. And
Good.
yeah, so I knew something was fishy when I got the email, because I'm like, that's not something that they would send. It just didn't make any sense. So I didn't even click on it. But I'm naturally cautious. And I will say for our people, we tend to be 800% more, thinking that everything is a scam and people are trying to get us and things like that. So I do think that there is a lane for someone like us to come in and talk about this from a, here's where it's safe and here's where it's not, because we tend to be so extreme the other way, that that our people may not get in, even when they're going through something like a Coinbase, for example, or something that's a lot more established. So yeah. Eric, I did see the tokenization, I think was number 3 or something like that. Did you wanna talk about
I
it?
had a couple. Yeah, Sheree, can you go to number 4?
Number 4. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, I do have some issues with these trends overall now, but let's just get to number 4. So here's one of the things that I see. Oh, well, first of all, this, when he talks about corporates need to accelerate their digital transformation. Now, here's my, I want to say it's a gripe. I want to say it's that strong. But my issue to this overall is I kind of feel like Carlos wrote this primarily from a corporate standpoint, and I don't view crypto that way. But I totally get it. That's fine. That's his bent, and that's where he came from. Now, I will say that this year, when we look at digital transformation, Talisha's talked about this a lot. In business, and every business is a tech business. We saw that in 2020, if anything, was the year of the internet. I mean, when you look at those who at very early, with the creation, early days of the internet, and the things that they were talking about doing, hey, we'll eventually get to the point where kids won't need to go to school. They can do school from their houses now. Where people won't have to go into an office, they can do, their jobs from their houses now. Where, where people want to, order food or whatever the case is, they don't even leave it, they don't even need to leave, they can just do it from their houses. Like all of those things early on that probably people kind of really dismissed, they all came to fruition this year because of COVID. And that point of really accelerating digital transformation is only going to continue that much more. It's only going to be accelerated. So he is absolutely right about that they will need to, they will need to do this. And I believe that my issue when I think about this is, and this will be my trend. So Carlos will probably say, I don't care, but this will be my trend. One of the trends is I believe in 2021, we're going to see a greater number of people than ever before that are going to develop their own personal crypto strategy. And that can be anything from them buying crypto when they never bought it before, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other altcoin, to the point of them, then creating crypto businesses. Like I believe in 2021 is where we really do see that happen at a level that we never thought would ever happen before. I really do see this like that.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, most industries got hit really hard with their human capital, right? People getting COVID and having to be out. and realizing that they needed some automation behind some of these processes to mitigate the people that couldn't do the job. And what happens when you get a little taste of that, you realize, well, damn, that was probably a little more efficient, right, with the automation than when Lucy did it. And so now they're figuring out, how can we get rid of Lucy altogether, right? I mean, and so it definitely is going to make an impact. You know, we've kind of dipped our toe into needing to look at tech with COVID around, and now it's just gonna spread like wildfire. I mean, now companies are really sitting down saying, well, wait a minute, how do we mitigate this from happening again?
So
Yeah, I had, oh, I'm sorry.
I would say just to kind of toggle for Eric, 9 speaks to that. Like with this, again, I think they all go together, and I wish I could like regroup them and put them under buckets, because that's what as soon as I saw it, I was like, this goes with this. So 9 was that the growing DLT offerings. This is where your personal financial strategy comes in. So now we're not going to rely on the bank. We're going to find something in our community that's going to align much more better to get houses, to get cars, to get personal loans. Those things are happening. So I think that's what the digital transformation, even though it appears top down, it's not. It kind of comes middle ground now, because if a little bank can do it, somebody else that's not traditional can do it. Now I don't have to even go up there. I could just go right down the street. So we're making what I consider consecutive and binary and linear moves in the digital transformation, because everybody has a cell phone. So when you think about that, we are way ahead of corporations, because we got tech in the middle of the night. We can make a transaction. You can use your phone to cash a check. We, as personalized, have already gone through our digital transformation. Our digital phones are a part of our everyday lives. Corporations, which have red tape, have a little bit of a hard time moving around. So they're a little slower. So that's why he wrote it in that way, because you don't have to worry about me. Because if I don't have to go to a bank, which I haven't in probably 10 years, I'm not going to no damn bank. It's just not, it's not relevant to me. I don't even go to work. So, you know, I'm already there. You know, I've been a remote worker for 10 years. This was nothing new to me. That's what I'm saying. None of this is new. But for a corporation, this is all brand new. For them, this is like really shock and awe at this moment. So for them, that top down is really hurting, because we're speeding up closer and closer. They have to make that adjustment. And that's where the trigger is. That's why they have to iterate constantly. That's why their digital transformation is incumbent, because we're already surpassed them. And we're going to demand, as a consumer, them to do certain things that they're just not prepared to do. And they will go out of business if they can't do it, because Lucy down the street now found a new way to make a bank. She like, I could sell NFTs in from my kitchen while I'm cooking. And now she has a whole business. And they just like, oh Lord, we don't even know what to do, because she don't have no list. Lucy didn't leave anything for us to know what to do. They're going to be hurting. So corporations, I think the key of looking at this was really interesting, in that corporations are the slowest adopters.
Yeah.
They just can't do it.
Yeah. Now, Salisha, you just brought up a point, and that's absolutely right. Now, this is what's going to be really interesting. To your point, because he mentions, of course, the central bank digital currencies. Okay, right. So I forgot what number that is. Now, this is going to watch how this plays out, y'all. Everyone watch how this plays out. When they issue, whether that's JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, we know they're all working on their own digital currency. When they issue it, it's going to be really interesting to watch the interest rates that they pay compared to what people are now already able to, achieve with any of the other, digitally native platforms like BlockFi, Nexo, Celsius. They're paying 10% on your stable coins. Like, are they going to be able to go out and to still offer you 0.0.01? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be interesting if they still keep the same interest rates when they have this kind of competition already in the marketplace. So now, okay, you go digital. Well, they're already digital, but they're going to pay me 10%. Like, how are you going to give me less than 1%?
I have a thought about that. I think that we need to remember generationally. So there are a couple of things happening. Number one is generationally, a lot of the wealth is still locked up in a mature, I'll say, generation, right? Who is not as likely to go after, to pursue these new types of platforms. However, there is a great wealth transfer that is expected over the next 15 years.
Mhm.
And at that point, I'm pretty sure these companies by that point are going to shift. They may not shift just yet. It may be a slower shift because great grandma is probably not willing to put her money in Greenwood Bank, for example, because there's no branch near her, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I do think that we need to just think about things generationally as well, and where the wealth is.
Also, where
That's a good point. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just think where, because again, we're seeing the CD come up in different places. Like Barbados has its own.
Mhm.
So again, this is where I think there's a lot of things going on at the same time, because we have countries, specifically the Caribbean and Africa, those kind of things are going on. And so they're expediting this, and they're testing and learning at a rapid rate. We're not even up there yet. So
Yes.
by the time, this is where we also have, when you have family in different places, that's going to be available. So now if you need to send money, transfer money, that becomes your viable option now. And it's simple, again, because you have a cell phone in your hand. And even if grandma isn't overly aware, she knows how to click the button on her phone.
Mhm.
That makes that transfer very easy. And I think going back to even the 10K, the Family Wealth Project, these are the kind of discussions where you're going to have these tech discussions. Like there's something new happening, you may need to pull your money or do something else, or maybe tokenize the house. That kind of starts to happen right now. So even if it's foreign, we're going to have the conversation, because it's a possibility. It becomes the option to check on the boxes now. And they said these are the little things that we're used to, but we're doing them in a slightly different way. But again, that's going to be not so apparent to the end user. It's just going to see what the back end looks like. The back end is going to be really different. So if I say, oh, you know how you transfer money to me through Western Union, or you did this or you did that, we can still say the same thing, but now it's an app on the phone.
But you know how you just gave it a name, remember how we Western Union?
Exactly.
That brand recognition is big,
It
right?
is.
So when you talk about the JP Morgan Chases, they don't have to give you the 10% because they have a name. They already have built trust. So they can offer you 3, right?
Mhm.
And you'll be happy with it, because there's some trust, inherent trust that
There's
already
brand
exists.
recognition, but I think this is also, that only has a favorable for that generation. So
Exactly.
again, trying to court new people, I said, because you're only as good as your new customer, because you got to keep that, that kind of circulation. The millennials don't know nothing about JP Morgan. They don't know anything about it. It's a name that's somewhere out there. But Lucy's, kitchenware is going to make something happen, because she has an ad on their thing, and she keeps sending them emails because she has a drip campaign. That's going to work for them. JP Morgan is not going to solicit those people. They're going to just keep massaging their current customer. And that becomes the issue too. Like everybody has to get out of their comfort zone here. It's not going to be just business as usual, because there is no longer business as usual. We're going to have to
that's the point why I circled number 4, because this is just going to be a general switch, as we've already seen with COVID. We've seen it already happen. And this will be it will be a continuum no matter what, as you guys have just mentioned. The people who are of the older generation, these companies that already have established people, they're going to grab those folks right away. And the people are going to think, oh, I'm doing blockchain. They're not doing it in the ideal sense, in the purest, sense, but they're all in between here. The companies will have the opportunity to use blockchain to internally make adjustments and save money and all those kind of things. All of that will be going concurrently, along with these very innovative kind of things where people have totally skipped over banks entirely and done more of the things you were just explaining, Talisha, like in countries where they don't have the option of a stable banking system. So they're about this much faster, but while we're still kind of cushy and people are just now getting uncomfortable about different things, that's what's opening people's minds up. So this whole time of COVID that's already accelerated this digitization of everything is helping people set their mindsets for what is going to come. And again, that gives us a lot of leeway for educating all the, from all the different segments of folks who are super ready for a full-on innovation, and those in between who are just want to make a few little leaps. But yeah, no longer is digitalization just kind of nice to have. This is the way, period, at this point.
I want to respond to something that Johnny said, because it got me thinking about something. It says apps like Cash App and PayPal will lead the charge. The thought that popped into my head is the way that a JP Morgan Chase makes it, because JP Morgan Chase is not known as a digital native anything, right? Like Talisha said, the Gen Zs have their 5 friends using a certain app, they're going to use it too. I think that there's going to end up being a lot of acquisitions. JP Morgan Chase is probably going to start acquiring these companies, keeping the same brand name and all of that, but just bringing it under, because like I said, there's a great wealth transfer that's about to happen with inheritances. And I can't imagine the people on the board of JP Morgan Chase is just going to let that go away and evaporate. So my thought is, and I'm not giving stock advice away, I'm not getting investment advice away, I'm just saying it as a comment. When you're looking at what's out there and you're thinking about how you want to, what you want to invest in, and your asset allocation, et cetera, one of the things you may want to ask yourself is, what's their exit plan? Because that's how people really get rich. So Instagram, for example, was purchased for, now I can't remember the numbers. WhatsApp was like $16 billion, right? It wasn't making any money, but they purchased it anyway because that's where the users were. Cash App, that's where the users are. Venmo is where the users are, et cetera. PayPal is so big that I don't think anyone's going to be acquiring them, but I don't know. But I'm just saying,
PayPal is Venmo.
They own Venmo.
Yeah.
PayPal. That's what I was saying. PayPal is so big that you never know. But all I'm saying is, when we start looking at opportunities that are forthcoming, thinking about it from that point of view as well, and really kind of strategizing, in your head. Also, now I'm starting to think about something else as well. As you're potentially given job offers, if it looks like this is a company that could be purchased one day, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not your lawyer, I'm not your accountant, but I would talk to your lawyer and your accountant and your hiring manager about the stock options, That's how people are getting rich.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think the interesting part about the Cash Apps and the PayPals, this is where brand recognition kind of does a disservice, because these aren't true, what I consider cryptocurrency friendly. They basically woo you with the aspects and attributes, but they aren't, because you don't own your keys in any of those places. So from a true exchange aspect, and PayPal doesn't even let you use the crypto outside of its own ecosystem.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, and they've done something else recently. They told businesses that people can pay you in crypto, but we're going to keep it as a convenience to you.
Yes.
We're going to keep the crypto. We're going to give you your money in fee.
Yeah, see, that's
That's
these are the kind of, that's what I'm saying. They
And
do
that's
a
the education that we have to get people to understand why that's
the
a
problem.
That's not a good idea.
The problems. Yeah. And then people are, like I said, because it is just that next step, we got to make sure that there is a clear understanding that this isn't, this isn't your foyer into crypto. You bought it, but it's not yours, and you can't use it the way it's supposed to be. So there's, like I said, that's a lot of education there. But I do think that's where that trigger happens, because now there's an association with legitimacy. If these people are doing it, no longer,
Right, and that's my point.
before a
That's
couple
my
years
point.
ago, Bitcoin was just like, oh, that's fake money. Don't talk about that.
Yep.
Now, if I say, PayPal accepts it, well, then it can't be fake money. So the conversation now starts at a little different point. So I think we now have a better entry point to talk about it, but there's still a whole lot of education of the usage, why, how, and I think the legality, what you're getting, because again, we've talked about this over and over. Not everything is a cryptocurrency. Some are tokens, some are stakes, some are mines, some are whatever they are. These are the things that we have to have that conversation with, and that's really hard to keep abreast. I think sometimes I mean, this changes every day. So I know that that's hard to keep up with, and that's, I guess, where we come in. We help you with that to make sure you know what's going on and how it's going to potentially impact you. But I do think that's a great point.
Now, can I just say that this is Sheree, I get your point, but let me just say this. Some of these people aren't at all looking to be acquired because they are looking, they have very much a competitive spirit about them, and they are looking to replace. I know Anthony Trenchev, who we interviewed for the virtual summit. He's the CEO of Nexo, one of the founders. He flat out said that like he's looking to become the, as he put it, the JP Morgan of crypto. So I do think that some of these people are
they're purists.
Well, yeah, because there's a point, like this is a real collision of philosophies here. Like people do not look at the central banks as having done any favors for anyone. Now, granted, at the same time, you can kind of look at some of their practices for some of the people and go, well, wait a minute, man, you're just kind of replicating the same sort of system that, I mean, that's not, some people are doing that. But others do look at this and say, no, this is an opportunity for us to really deliver and give the value back to the people who have it. When I listened to Alex Mashinsky, the CEO of Celsius, and one of the things that he really brought out when he was talking about those low interest rates was he said, hey, all those big banks, they could give that to you, but instead of giving you 8% on your money, they instead take that and they give it to their shareholders. And then at the same time, they take your money and loan it out for these credit cards. And what you people pay
20% interest. Yeah.
Yeah, like whatever. Then they're taking the money, like, and that sort of thing. So people like that, it's, and what I would say is having these discussions on the internet, having these discussions on social media, on YouTube videos, there's something really happening. There's a real collision taking place where, to me, a bank just can't sit there and just say, well, this is just the way it is, and you're just going to have to take it, when there are other viable options out there that people can become very educated about. And then they can say, well, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. Just like Talisha just said, she doesn't even walk into a bank anymore. She doesn't do that anymore, you know, and people can say, no, hey, I've been safe. I haven't, you know, had any kind of trouble with any kind of customer service or anything like that. So that's one thing that I do look at. I feel there's this acceleration, this collision is going to take place between centralized and decentralized, and it's shaping up. The arena itself is shaping up for us to like get into it and watch it play out.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I'm sure for every 3 purists, there's about 33 people that's waiting for the $16 billion check. Right?
Well, when $16 billion is waved in front of you,
are you
that's
still
your
furious,
real,
right?
that's your, and if you have raised money from VCs, that's another thing as well, because if you haven't, then you have choices. If you've raised money from VCs, you know, and a $16 billion check is there, so that goes back to, if you're looking for a job or, you know, whatever, being savvy about some of the questions that you're asking, or just, you know, reading between the lines, period, I think is something that we all, I believe our audience does that anyway. We read between the lines, we listen between the words, you know, to what anyone and everyone is saying. But I do believe that there are purists, and I believe that there are people who are going to sell. So did you want to talk, Eric, about your favorite topic? Because they did mention tokenization.
He did mention it, and absolutely, that's my favorite topic. I love it. Like, and I will say, when he mentioned the trend of DeFi, to me, he should, you know, and it's fine. But I would have mentioned, because NFTs are a major trend within DeFi. Like there's like the major trends, and then there's a trend within the trend. And DeFi and NFTs, non-fungible tokens, tokenized assets where they can be, you know, from non-native crypto and digital assets to assets that were only created digitally. And I believe that is going, that is a multi-trillion-dollar market that is going to, and there's no time frame over where we see this sort of mass adoption, but I do see us continually moving there and looking for it. And it's everything, from any kind of tokenized IP to whatever the case is, to tokenized financial products, where now I think we're looking at mortgages being tokenized as NFTs, as non-fungible tokens, that someone can then take that and sell that to someone else, and then they can then take it and live and really enjoy the fruits of that royalty stream, or of that revenue stream. So that is an area that I believe is a major trend that we're going to look at in 2021. I believe the NFTs are going to be something where we just see a much wider range of adoption take place in both public and the private sector.
Yeah, I agree. I think that tokenization is going to, it's going to be a huge opportunity. And I really do hope some of our people will take advantage of it and actually get into the business of helping people tokenize their assets. Because I think this is just my opinion, just like people needed help getting into Facebook and getting started and, connecting with their friends. We sometimes don't remember what it was like in those early days. I think that there's going to be the same type of thing where people are going to get nervous, like, this is my house, I don't want to mess up this tokenization thing. Can I get some assistance with doing this? That's personally what I'm saying. Or, an artist, a musical artist. Hey, I want to tokenize these songs, but I don't want to mess it up because this is like my intellectual property and my kid's future. Can I get some consulting help to, help me with this, etc. So somebody asked about number 11, zero knowledge proof.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. Another important, say that again.
Oh, I said, I love that technology,
Okay.
being able to, we talk about security and all of that kind of thing, where just the information that you need is used in these transactions and things like that. But I am curious about what they meant by ZAP. That was my first time.
Okay,
hearing that term.
so another important trend we may see in 2021 is the arrival of zero knowledge proof. ZKPs are urgently needed to meet challenges with preserving confidentiality that are currently holding blockchain projects back. Blockchain-based ZKPs allow companies with different record-keeping systems to be verifiably in sync on a record-by-record basis without sharing sensitive information.
Love that.
So that's the zero knowledge proof. And I think the way that he has it here is clearly summed up what that is. So this is again an enterprise issue. Go ahead, Talisha.
I know this is where you're going to glaze over, Ms. Tawana, but this is the tech part. You're going to be like that.
And I got a basic
this
explanation.
is the distinction, and this is a very clear distinction. I'll try to keep it as high level as possible. But again, kind of putting this together, because there are going to be permissioned blockchains, they're going to have to speak to other permissioned blockchains. So we haven't got to decentralization yet. They're going to be oracles. Oracles are going to sit between them and house this information. They themselves have some technology with regard to that. That is where the ZK piece kind of sit, because they have to be able to purvey the data. So they're getting it all, and they have to make that decision, and they need to basically do the verification on the fly. They're doing it in real time. So it's like, yep, you can write to here you go. Yep, you can write, nope, you didn't give me the right information. So that's where they come in. And this is the difference between a smart contract and a ZAP. Your decentralization really happens in a decentralized place. It doesn't really want that layer of protection in there because it's already in-housed inside of a decentralization. So it's just kind of pushing data all around. A ZAP needs something else. It needs these critical pieces of data before it even says, I don't even know who you are. You got to verify before I send it. So that's the distinction. When you're writing a smart contract, you can just kind of slip it and put it wherever it needs to go. A Zap does not. It really requires a lot more coding and a heavier level of like, these are the things, and it has to be right or the data will go nowhere and will be lost forever. Because remember, we're writing in real time. If it denies it and says no, you've lost whatever. It's not returning anything to you. It's a bilateral kind of thing. It's going from it to something else, not like, oh yeah, let me tell you what's wrong. It's not going to do that. That's where the sophistication is coming, but it's not there yet. But like, these are the kind of things between what I consider dApps, which are just kind of, like I said, living in a decentralized, and we're kind of using them all day long. We're seeing that specifically in DeFi, executing them 1,000 times, 100,000 times daily. Whereas a Z protocol really is going to sit somewhere and do much more exponentially from all different sources. So it has to, like, it's literally going to be 1,000 people coming at it like, can I get in? Can I get in? Can I get in? And it has to do all of that work and then send it to the appropriate person. So that's the key with that.
And I heard of
Well, I just got one question I want to ask Felicia about this. Do you think that there's any way that we end up using zero knowledge proof with KYC? Because,
Most definitely.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, right?
Oh, it's
Okay.
application.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's embedded. Like I said, it's really a sophisticated. Writing those suckers are not easy. Like the language itself is very complicated. So it's a very rich language to try to actually put together. And then all the things that have to go in accordance to really execute it and to let it do. So those are those prime things where you want to know absolutely KYC, ALM, like all of them are going to have to really go through that. And like I said, that's even before it gets to the blockchain. So the Oracle is literally kind of that gateway. It's like, if you don't pass me, you don't pass Go, you don't get any kind of money, let alone 200. And then it like just kills your data. So you got to be really, really careful.
But I guess my point to that too is, see, that would have really helped had Ledger, pretty much a blockchain company, not gathered all of this information, because I'm pretty sure at some point they have some sort of KYC rules, and I guess they did, I don't know. But they gathered everybody.
Your information is probably on MailChimp somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, because maybe gathering it isn't the issue, but did they keep it all in the same damn spot, right?
I don't.
It can be aggregate. My whole point is, once you get a key, SQL databases are real simple. That is why they're relational. You get one piece, I can get the whole record.
You can get everything.
Give me just one thing. I just need one part of that record. I can get everything I need. Give me those 4 digits at the end of your Social Security. I can get your whole life. Wow. That's all I need.
That's scary.
It is scary.
So go ahead, Dr. Keisha, you had another comment.
And to that point, that's why I'm excited about zero knowledge proofs, and that it will only use the minimal amount of information that you need to verify, and then that's it.
And then you only get certain pieces of information.
Yeah, and you only
it's so far removed. I think that's the beauty of it too, that it's not even really what you think it is. I can say, I'm putting in my Social Security number, but this can say, this is ID information 1, 2, 3. So you don't even know what's coming to you. You just know that data is there and it has to be right. So it's actually being kind of encrypted upon encryption. So it's just really it's saying, the Oracle saying, give me this, give me A, B, and C. It doesn't know what A, B, and C really constitutes. The writer, the information knows, but it's like, again, I send it because that's what you're asking me. The person just says, yep, that's the only thing they get. Like, yep. I need a Social Security number. Is it right? Yep. You don't get my Social Security number. You never even did it. You don't know what it is, but it said it was right. So that's what you agreed to.
I heard the one example that I've heard that really resonates with me and regular people, I think too, is just the idea of like buying some wine or something like that. They just need to know that you're 21 or over.
Right.
They don't need to, it's the difference between showing your full driver's license. I don't know your wage, your address, your everything now. That's where we're at now. But zero knowledge proof would just say, yep, 21.
Yeah, you are illegal to drink. Exactly.
Give me the bottle.
Yeah, thank you, and please get out my business.
So that is the end of Blockchain Chat for this evening. Everyone, just in the chat, tell me your favorite thing that you learned tonight, because I want to read that off. Want to make sure everyone knows about the mastermind on Monday at 7:30 p.m. And everybody just tell me again, what was your favorite thing? Favorite thing that you're looking forward to for 2021, favorite thing that happened in 2020 with regards to blockchain. The record high for Bitcoin is one thing I'm thinking about. And Eric is saying, give me the bottle. Okay.
You're 21, you get the bottle.
So Denise is saying the ZKPs love talking about it. Really looking forward to learning the tech. Yeah, so look, next week we are off from Blockchain Chat. So that's a great time for you to learn more about it. There was a study or something like that, that if you study something for 40 hours, I think it is, you know more than 95% of the population about that topic. So, you know, you think about it, even if you study 2 hours a week for 20 weeks, that's 4 months, right? It's not such a lift, but maybe it's your favorite podcasts about something, or you select a few articles and you read through it. You can really get to, you know, the top. Now you have to do a lot within blockchain to stay there. Don't get me wrong, but you know, these are some of the things that you can do. Daniel's saying everything awesome. Daniel, we got to get you on the panel. Got to get you on the panel in 2021. So I'm gonna be contacting you. And Robin is
You
saying,
are those names we need to get on this panel.
Correct.
yes, absolutely. Look, everybody.
Correct.
Robin is saying being an audit source for emerging government fintech regulation news. I love it. As soon as you get your blog or your email or whatever, let us know. We'll join your list. Tangi is saying, looking forward to learning more about tokenization and tech. In 2020, just happy to find Black people interested in crypto and blockchain. We're your people.
Yeah.
Percy is saying, favorite thing in 2020 was being introduced to Bitcoin and blockchain. In 2021, looking forward to taking steps towards becoming a consultant. Percy, I honestly, you know, based on the stuff we've talked about, you're 90% there. You really
Percy's
are.
there.
I think it's just a matter of just, you know, letting people know that that's what you want to do. So
Percy actually is sitting on a story that he has got to come on and share. Well, hopefully he'll share it at the mastermind.
Yeah, I want to hear
You
it.
told me yesterday, Keisha.
Yes.
Was that the story?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing
Percy
story.
is doing. He's
Percy,
the poster
hold
child.
down.
You got me excited. I love it.
Yep.
You got to come on, Percy. You got to come on Monday and tell us. Tell us. I want the 411.
Directly
I'll
from
get
him.
everybody else. So, all righty then, everybody. Well, I hope that you enjoyed BBC for 2020. 2021, we're going to hopefully have some great things in store for you. And, you know, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah if you're Jewish, you know, but enjoy yourself, and we will see you next Monday. And then for the rest of you, we'll see you in 2021. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Merry
Take care.
Christmas. Happy